you here last week? No. Were you here last week? No, you weren't. Yes, we finished that. Yes. So we're talking about the personalities. Okay? So the personalities are, in Kabbalah, are spirits. So when it comes to our souls, the word soul in Hebrew generally is say nefesh. Nefesh is the word soul in Hebrew. But that is only like the collective whole thing of the soul. So for example, I can say my body, but my body has a heart, has lungs, has, stomach and liver and all that. And so nefesh is just to generalize the word soul. In Spanish, we don't have another word for it. We call it soul, alma, and that's it. From the Latin called anima. That's what the soul comes from. But in the Hebrew idea, is the soul is more complex because the soul also includes the mind. Right? It includes your biological needs and instincts. Includes your intuition beyond human understanding. That's all soul. But in Spanish, it's hard to really see it in the Bible. So in the Bible, you're going to see only two terms, spirit and soul. So in Hebrew, there's 5 divisions to the soul. We have nefesh, that we can use it as general, or we can use it as the animation of our life. So if I'm moving, I'm alive, right? That's also called soul. So it's the energy between your skin and your bones and your muscles. That light that gives you the word life. That, we also call it the essence. That also is called in Kabbalah the spark. So all these terms become very confusing if you don't know the terms, but it's just specifying things. So, for example, the pancreas. What is the pancreas for? What does the pancreas do? What? Filters the blood? What does it does? What is its purpose? They're all filters. That could be the kidneys filters too, and the liver could be a filter, but what do they do? The pancreas? Yeah. No, pancreas, you die. I mean, a cancer in pancreas is you in 4 months you're done, gone, bye. Pancreas is where your insulin comes, is to level your sugars. So that is a specific thing in the pancreas, right? So that's how we speak in the Kabbalah. It's like we say terms to specify a specific of a function of something. So it looks like a lot of things, but it's the pancreas. Does it make sense like that? So we say nefesh, then we have the ruach. Ruach means the spirit, but for us, what is a spirit? Because see, for us it comes from Latin, which means something without a body. If I say, I saw a spirit, you go, oh my God, it's like I saw a ghost. Right? Because the spirit is tend to be more about the idea of the Greeks, or something flying around. So I'm going to give you some rules that are going to help you a lot in your life. Nothing, I'm going to say it again, nothing can be just a soul without a body, and there's no body without a soul. Or I can say more specifically, a soul cannot be without a form, or a form cannot be without a soul. I'm not. So, what do you think I'm saying with that? To you guys, I'm talking to you guys. So if I tell you, why is that important? If I tell you this, a soul cannot be without a body, and a body cannot be without a soul. So this idea of spirit just floating around, nonsense. If something is floating around, it still has a body. Maybe not your body, or my body, but it has a body. It has to have a form. It cannot be without a form. Does that make sense, that part? So, ruach, we are really calling your personality. It is the expression of your soul, the flavor of who you are. So Homo sapiens, right, us, we are very peculiar compared to other organisms is because we are very different, each of us. What makes us different is our ruhot. Ruach is in singular and with an ot at the end is plural. So we say ruhot. Does it make sense, that part? All right. So I'm going to show you something just to give you an idea. So when Moses, because we're talking about personalities, right? I want to give you the personality, but I want you to see what it means in Hebrew. So Moses was going to die. So he wanted to talk to God about who's going to be the next in line. His idea was his son should be his next in line. Because he thought like kings, right? My son is, if I'm the king, he's the prince, he should be the next one. God said, no, actually, your son is not worth it. That's what he says. And he says, what? He says, no. Your one who's going to be the next one, your replacement, is going to be Yehoshua, Yahshua. And then Moses says to God, this is what he says to him. He says, in Hebrew, he says, Elohei Huruhot, which is the ruhot, the spirits, right? Haruhot Hol Basar, God of the spirits of all flesh. So we know that our spirits are personalities of God. That's what he was saying. He said, he says, I see what you're saying to me. This is translated in the Hebrew. You're saying to me, you know the spirits, and you know that we are different one from each other, and that's why you're choosing Yahshua instead of my son, because it's not about better or bad. It's just that he was meant for this and he was meant for that. Right? So all of us have a spirit. And that's what makes us unique. And you need to learn it, you need to love it, and you need to use it. Right? That's psychology, right? That's the idea of your personality is what makes you depressed, makes you happy, that makes life, you see it a different way, because we all different spirits. Later on, maybe 2,000 something years later, Paul writes and says, you are the God of the spirits. So this idea is there. So all I'm saying this is because I don't want you to see your spirit less or more than what it is. That's who you are. And the more you accept who you are, you accept you and you love yourself in your spirit, the happier you're going to be. 9 of them you can choose. Oh, somebody chose for you, more or less. But they are like a little puzzles. So let's just look at Enneagram a little bit, and then we'll go step by step on this. So look at the Enneagram. So we have 9 spirits, but it's a 10th one. The 10th one is the one who is projected in the eternity. So in eternity, there is one. It's only one spirit. That's why the Apostle Paul writes in the letter, he says, there's only one spirit, one baptism, right? One blessing. Because the idea is the unification of things. If I can get that one, the one who is beyond this 9, I can connect to everybody and I can become the best leader. A leader is the one who understands the needs, the wants, and the desires of every spirit. But I have to get out of the 9 because mine here, my spirit, doesn't like the other ones. It's not compatible that well with the other ones. But the one beyond this 9 is compatible to other ones. So there's a strange story about Yeshua. He's walking, right? And the disciples are going with him, and then he stops them. And then he goes and he blows them. He goes to them. And they're like, what? And then he says, I'm giving you my Holy Spirit. Not this Holy Spirit, but his spirit of him. His spirit of the Mashiach is number 1 or number 10. Remember, when you see in Hebrew a 0 after a number, those are upper numbers. They are from the upper worlds in Kabbalah. So a 20 is a 2, but in the upper worlds. There's only 1 to 9 in Hebrew. That's it. There's no more numbers. Everything gets minimized to those single numbers, like fractions. Right? Are we okay with that? We understand that part? Or is it too much? I see you a little bit. You okay? All right. So we're going to go around them, and we did a test last week, right? What the numbers are. Who didn't do the test? You didn't do the test. You want to hear? Everybody else, you would not do the test? Okay. All right. All right. We'll do the test later. Just try to figure it out which one is you right now, see if you can think of it. All right. So there is 9 of them. Each of them has a power. So I'm going to give you the powers first. So number 1 is the perfectionist. In my story last week, remember that they were invited to a party? So number 1 goes to the party, right? He's invited. And how is he going to act in the party? He's there to help you. He thinks he's helping you by seeing what's wrong and what you should do. So a lot of spirits, they have this number 1. They speak like, you should do this. The shoulds is very important to number 1s. They believe, right? They know better. They want to control you by discipline, by structure. Their moral values are very high. They believe that their moral values are bigger or stronger than anybody else. That's number 1s. They can be, but they all can be. They all can be everything. This is another word that I want you to learn. The word is kavana, which means the intention. All of us want something. So when we are in relationships, we want always something from somebody. So this thing that I don't want nothing from you, that's not true. Okay? They're lying to you. But the intention, what they want, is the key. Because I want something from you, but my intention is to have pleasure with you, to benefit you, to love you, whatever, but I want something. At least I thank you, but I want something, right? What is going to change is not the wants or the pleasures, is the intentions. There's people who tell you, right? Oh, you look skinny. But they're telling you because they're telling you look ugly. The intention is to put you down. And there's some people who generally just telling you, wow, you look skinny. Right? The intention is not to really put you down, it's just because they're just looking. So the intention is the key. That's why Torah says that God doesn't see nothing more than the intention of your heart. Why are we doing what we're doing? What is the reason? What is the purpose? Right? So number 1 are perfectionists, and what they truly want is control. That controlling, right? The power of them, though, when they're okay, is that they have wisdom. So they're very wise. These perfectionists are like Virgos. So if we are going to talk about astrology in this sense, we can, not all the time, But most of the time, number ones are Virgos. Leos can be in this case too, but Leos are perfectionists in what they're not perfectionists in everything. They're just perfectionists in what they want. Virgos are really perfectionists in everything they want to do. And they are going to control that part. Their power is there. But where they are spiritually bounded is their wisdom. For $1,000, what is to have wisdom? What is a wise person compared to an intelligent person? What is the difference? Okay, I've been teaching for almost 10 hours. You guys just came. No.
Wise can see all outcomes, all possibilities.
You're almost there. Yes, you're right. What else? Yes, has to do with experience totally. Yes. Huh? Yeah, wise people do, because what happens with wise people is that they do not cheat life. They really want to live life. And so they learn from good and evil. From both places they can learn. That is the power of the one. So if I was talking to a one, famous, I told you was Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro is a one. If you have Netflix, which probably do, if you have Netflix, there's a new series that I wish that you guys would watch it. It's awesome. It's called Cuba Libre. Oh my goodness. You watched that one already?
No, he
Oh, naturally.
He watched it. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Because I'm wise. It's good too. So, if you see it, you will see why a one is he gets so upset. And he wants to change the world, but he's so frustrated that the thing that he hates the most, he becomes that. That's a one. His biggest fear is going to be that. I'll show you later on the ones and that, okay? Let me see here some ideas of that. Hold it.
But a perfectionist could be eccentric to the point that he can never excel in life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Or could excel so much, but everything else falls apart.
He's what, yeah. Because he should. Most of the time if I'm teaching you, right, and I tell you, oh, you shouldn't steal, stealing is wrong, and all I teach all day long is you shouldn't steal, you say, the rabbi has problem with stealing. Because that's my projection. That's my projection, right, that I have an issues, and that's what I speak. So, number ones, right, they have this, I'm going to tell you what they do. Let me see here. So when they are at the best, that means they are wise, because they're chomach. In Hebrew, wisdom, we call it chomach. Wisdom is the first power. Keter should be the first power, but that's a zero. That's beyond our world in Kabbalah. So there's a gift, right, or a power beyond our understanding. We call it Keter. It's beyond us. So close to the Ein Sof that there only lives the Mashiach. We call it the primordial power. Okay? So when somebody is good at that, so I'm going to give you 3 types of ones. And you understand that if you are in Torah, this is how you should look. At best, responsible, hardworking, honest, and faithful to your principles. That will be a 1 when it's okay. Totally. When it's integrated, we call that in psychology. When we integrate all ourselves to it. My physical, my emotion, and my mental, and my spiritual together. We call it integration. Because if not, then you're split all the time, right? You want to be good and not good, but you want to be honest. But you want to have fun also, you need to lie. So you split. And then if that day you're more stronger with the force, you say the truth, you stay. But if that day you're weakest with the force, you lie and go have fun. But if you're integrated, you will never have that. You won't be in that position. You'll be you. Organically, you're going to say the truth because that's what our number ones do. Virgos, right? It's called the word virgin. They are very, very clean. In my story of the astrology signs, they're the ones who always will be sweeping heaven. They're always cleaning the mess that Leo left. That's what they would do. Because Leos are very messy. And so then... It's true. And because they're twins, right? Virgos and Leos are twins. Well, not twins, but little sister is Virgo of Leo. Okay, so when things get really tension, right? Tension at number one, they become very stressed, right? When they're very stressed, they become critical, resentful, and insist on protocol. So they have like, he should give me this, I should do that. Why is that happening? What's going on? That's what a Virgos will always be thinking, you know, when there are things are getting very stressed. So I'm going to give you, so let's look at number one, okay? Look at number one. You see it? So, you see the lines? 1 to 4 and 1 to 7. So, when Virgos want to be secure, they want to be a 7. That means they can party hard. They'll do the crazy stuff, but it's not in their nature. It's only when they want to feel secure, feel like they're being loved, they're being welcomed, they're being part of something, they go to become number 7. If they are more in the stress mode, they become 4s. So they become very melancholic, sad, and nobody loves me. I should sing a song. Yeah. See that? That's what I tell you. That's one way to do it. Did you get that? Because we're going to be working with this thing together. We're going to be drawing some things together, okay? But we're just getting the ideas. Any questions of the stressor? So the lines is going to give me, when I'm stressed, for example, I'm number 7. So when I am stressed, I become a 1. And I become very rude. I become very rude. Like, I just see the nonsense of things. And I just pick it and pick and pick. When I'm stressed. So if I'm playing soccer, I'm losing, what do you think I'm going to start doing? You better run. Why are you not attacking? Go, get out of here. That will be me. That's not me by nature. My nature me is, let's party, have a good time. That's me. But if I'm stressed, I'll go that route. But if I want to be more secure, like I feel like being attacked, then I become number 5. And number 5, remember I told about number 5? They're the scientist. So I like my books, I like to read, I like to write. So if you see me, that I get too much involved in my writing and these things is because I feel attacked. I feel like nobody understands me, and then I go to my books into that. But truly me is just 7. It's just want to have a good time. I want everybody to be laughing and just enjoying yourself. But I have stressors and I have securities. Does it make sense? Yes? All right, so we were number 1. But to make things not confusing, but just because your personality is so complex, Then you have something called wings. Wings. So number ones have a 9 as a wing and a 2 as a wing. So a lot of times, if you're a 1, who's 1 here? Nobody was 1 here?
No, but I'm not far off.
No, you're not at all. What were you in your number?
A 7.
She wants to be a
That
helper
makes
right now.
sense.
She wants to be a
That makes sense.
It makes sense because when you took the test, you probably were more than a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So the 2 and the 9. So if I was talking to Melanie, right? If I didn't know Melanie, and Melanie one day gets there and she becomes a very good helper, she wants to help, she wants to be part of it, I would think, oh, she's a 2. But that's only when she develops part of her personality to become a helper. But that's not who she is, though. There's a 2. 2s are, you see, everybody has their own little quirky things. Or a 9. A 9 is more like she's in the family, but not in the family. That's a 9. They're like, you know.
That's me.
Yeah. So, right, like 9, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm here, I'm sitting here, everyone having a good time, good. Don't look at me. Look at each other. Hey, what's going on over there? You two talk, and you hear. They redirect everything because they become the ambassadors. Or the pacificador en español, ¿no? It's ambassador. See? So, I'm saying all this because I don't want you to believe, oh, I'm a 2 and I like a 2. Not true. You can act at all of them, actually.
So we have wings.
You have wings, we call it.
Okay. And
So-
then what are the critical points? It's just, what do you call those? Just our critical.
No, stressors and securities.
Oh, the stresses and insecurities. Thank you. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah? An enneagram. Love it. All right. So now let's talk about ones when they're really bad, though. They're like really like stressed to the max. Okay. Because that's what we're going to call it here. There's not like you're bad or good. It's just really you're totally stressed or you're really insecure. And that's how you move your personalities. Okay. So worst. Self-righteous. Intolerant, angry, dogmatic, and paralyzed by the quest of perfection. In other words, because this doesn't go my way or how it's supposed to, I'm not doing nothing for you no more. I'm done. That is when they're in the way in the spectrum, yeah.
Dogmatic, and what was the other one? Sorry.
Mhm.
Angry.
Yeah.
You say give up or something?
Yeah, they give up. They're paralyzed and they give up on their thing. So positive traits of one, and we'll do this. I told you we're going to take about 15 weeks to get to everything, but here we go. So let's talk about the positives of the ones. So only Melanie feels a 1. Anybody here feels a 1? No? You a little bit? Well, Leos would. See, that's what I tell you. Leos are 1s or Virgos because they're like together, you know? Actually, in Kabbalah, we say that Leos and Virgos are the same coin, just as different faces, different sides of the same coin. Yeah. So, positive traits. When you're positive, right? When you feel positive, you're spontaneous and playful. You can have fun rather than concentrating on what you ought to do. So you feel more relaxed. You can be more self-affirming and less self-critical. Because it's number one, right? It's just judging. And it's going to go into your relationship. So, because you're number one, you want to control your partner. That's what's going to happen. You want to control everything. Is that just how? Because you see yourself better than the other person. You're like this dummy, right? He doesn't understand that this is the best way to go. And most of the time, they're right. Fidel Castro was super right on what he thought. He didn't finish the way he wanted to, but that's how his idea was there. Now let's go to the negatives. Negative traits.
Still, of which one?
One.
Of one, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You're not a one, huh?
Yeah. He's a gentleman.
He's not a one. For sure. He's so flexible. Okay, here we go.
No. Just sure.
Okay, so here you go. Negative traits of the one. You can drown out your critical mind with excess of food, sex, or substance abuse. That's when you are your negative traits. You became very vicey. But not because of the one, because of the seven. The seven is the one with the vice. Right? Not the one. The one doesn't have vices. But because he's so stressed out, he becomes a seven. And now he's overeating, over drinking, or drugs, sex, rock and roll. But you're not happy there. Sevens can be happy there because they're sevens. They don't mind. People that really can party, they look good. And you party, you look bad the next day. And the sevens have a party, and the next day they look refreshed, ready for another one.
Yeah.
Everybody else, no, won't have that one. So that's the key there. Another negative trait. Rather than seeing your actions as flawed, you might view yourself as worthless and flawed. So your imperfections become very personal. You can channel your anger inwardly, becoming depressed. There's a lot of depressions and number ones. Your feelings become so overpowering that you can't see reality clearly, and you over dramatize your plight. So your life, you dramatize everything. That is so. Let's look now at the traits of the one as a child. Maybe that's where it came from. We're not sure exactly. We know that we have the spirit, right? But a lot has to do also how we were raised for that one to become more positive or more negative. So the spirit came with you. It's not like nothing to do with your parents. But your parents could have influenced the way you are now in many ways. Okay? So as a child, a one, it was a good girl or a good boy. Try to live up to your parents' and teachers' expectations. So in a relationship, right? If he didn't bring you flowers and the day that he's supposed to bring you flowers, it's done. We are done. Because they know as a child they have to earn in order to play. They have to earn it. That's why they feel always, they're trying to get these okays from the people around them in order to feel like they earn it. Because when they were little, they were taught to be good boys and good girls. No, we all did, but some didn't care. And some of us did, right? Okay, some people, I don't know what that means, but you were responsible one as a child, taking obligations at home and at a young age. You were taught to do the right thing and it was expected of you. You were criticized or punished for your mistakes. But not always rewarded for the good stuff you did. You were taught that it was inappropriate to show anger when they were little. This is more psychological, right? Not all that stuff happened to you, maybe, if you're a one, but some of the stuff might happen to you. You want approval for being correct, having high standards, working hard, and seeking excellence. So in a way, at once, when they want to have pleasure, they feel guilty because they don't seem they deserve it. And so they sabotage their happiness that way because they didn't earn it. The sevens will steal it and have fun with it.
And run with it and have fun.
But one said, no, I didn't earn it. I shouldn't have it. Now, that could be conscious or unconsciously, but that's how they are. It's coming out in their lives. So if they have a partner that is more, who cares? They will have a lot of issues. Or we'll have people around them that are living a different type of life. And they're doing well, but you're not. It reinforces that when you were little. So I'm just giving you right now the negative things, but I'm going to tell you how to get out. Because that's the whole point of the class. But I want you to know, because if you don't know where's the leaking of your light, how are you going to stop it? That's the key, right? So at least you need to accept not everything I'm saying, but maybe some of that what I'm saying. Even 10% of what I'm saying is good. I said, okay, maybe that's what is why I'm not so happy with my life when it comes to this one.
Once you're not married, which one? Or which ones?
Say it again?
Like a one should not have a mate as like which ones? Like, because the wing, you need the wings and you need your indicators on the line.
Yeah.
So everybody else you shouldn't be with?
No.
Or, I'm just going with that.
No. Of course.
Right?
I
You
think
have two ones, that's
I think one with a 4 will have a hard time because 4 will always, if the guy or the girl is very melancholic, very pessimist, very negative, he or she is not going to do well. Number one, he or she is going to be frustrated a lot, because one wants to improve, wants to become, and the number 4 is like, I can do it. It's impossible. You just don't love me. So you're going to drown there. If you're a 7, the bad thing about 7 is that a bad 7, it'll take you for a ride.
it's a good ride.
Yeah. Yes, but for a moment. But it won't get anywhere. It will just fun. Let's work. Why? Let's go. So I don't know. But hopefully, the intention of this class is that we all can project to the personality 0, right? The 0 behind it. That's the one that we need to all connect. And then I could be with anybody because I know who I am. So I don't let the 4 drown me or the 7, take me off. I would do better with a 2. If I'm a 1, I would do better with a 2 because the 2 is a helper. And the 2 wants to help. It wants to please you. Oh, the 1 loves it. The 1 will love it because he says, you know what? We need to put this stuff here. I'll do it. Done. Don't worry. Sit down.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And it will come to you to tell you, do you like it? Is that what you want? Oh, the 1 will love it. Or a 9, because the 9 will not get involved too much. Would allow the 1 to become whatever he wants. So that's why they're the wings. If you want to say it like that, yeah. Like I will do better with a 6 or an 8. Because I'm a 7, right? An 8 or a 6.
Thank you.
Any questions on mouse? All right. So, Okay.
So since as a parent, you tend to push because of that moment where you want to take them to that perfectionist mode, that number one kind of thing. How do you, how can you affect that, your child's life in that sense, so that it doesn't get to the craziness of the 7 or the really low points of the 4?
You're a one in this case, or?
Your parents. So how will you deal with him? You have to give him the benefits. You have to allow him to not so strict to be with a 7, or to allow them to feel the 4. So emotionally you want to allow, because parents who push for perfectionists don't like the kids to cry or to say anything. They're like, don't stop it. You can do it. You're the best. Move it. And the kid is like crying as he's doing it. So you have to want to allow him to feel the 4, the melancholic side of it, and hug. And say, okay.
It's annoying.
Not for a 1. 1 will get out like that. Now, if he's a 4, I want to kick him. 4, if he's a melancholic by himself, I don't want him to feel too much. I want him to think. Because 4s are really just, by itself, they're just the ones who emotions are all over the place.
It's just that I see that, like, the opposites completely. You can have this really party person and then sad person, almost like,
Yeah, we all kind of bipolar in that sense, yes. But the 1 is to allow him to not to be far from the 1 itself. It's okay to be a perfectionist. It's okay. But in order to be a perfectionist, you have to go and suffer a little bit as a 4, as a 7. You have those parts in your life that you have to allow them to grow. But you want them to become a helper. So if as a parent, I would not really focus on the 7 and a 4, because that's organically going to happen to them. I will be more in the 2s or the 9s. So I would teach them to be a helper instead of just criticizing. And a 9 to become more connected and not become the number 1 person in the room, because 1s want to be the number 1 person in the room. They just, I'm it. And you want to allow them to say, yes, you are, but I need you also to be part of the group. And don't get so much opinions and things. Just be there. Or a 2, if you say you don't like something, go and do it yourself and help them. That would be my teaching more for a 1. And I allow 7 and 4 to come naturally to them. Okay? Cool, huh? Okay, so we did 1 already. The song, they say in this book, which is it's called, the song for number 1 is called The Impossible Dream. Okay, so that will be the song for them. Okay? Any other questions on 1s?
I feel like ones can also be Aquariuses and Capricorns.
Yeah.
Everything you explained was
Yes. It could be a Capricorn more than Aquarius. Because Aquarius can become perfectionist, but just for the moment because they just want to bother you. Ones like to bother you. The Aquarius like to bother with things, and like to get this thought, and then they bother you with that idea. But then they don't care about being too perfectionist. They just want to construct a better way. That's what Aquarius would do. But you can see ones Aquarius too. But Capricorns for sure. Capricorns for sure could be ones too. They're like stubborn like that. All right. See you later, alligators. See you next week for type 2. All right. All right. Love you guys.